broadcasting live from the Empire Space Building with your host, Frank St. Wahlberg. This is the Big Space Apple.
Hello, this is your host, Frank St. Wahlberg, today, live from the Empire Space Building. We're going to have a really good show today. You know the show. We're going to do our regular bits. Here's my producer, Carl O'Donnell. How about you do a bit?
Do a bit? Oh, why don't we just start by, you know what? I know I'm the producer. I like to keep this in order. Why don't we just start by asking how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
As Joey from Friends may have said, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. My name is Carlo De Niro. As you all know, that was our theme song brought to you by our very own from New York, the Beastie Boys. That was Intergalactic album, Hello Nasty.
On the topic of the show today, outer space.
That's our theme song every week.
Exactly. That's our topic of the show every day, every week.
You gotta stop coming in high. This is getting ridiculous. That's our theme song every week. It's not topical. That's the theme song.
That's the topic of the show is space, outer space.
The topic of the show is always outer space.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what do you mean by that.
This is not a topic when the show is about space. That's called the subject matter.
Then what would you say is the topic?
The topic today, well, we have a guest. We have an Australian grant student.
Man. His name is Sting.
His name is Sting.
Sting.
Today we've got some listener questions. We got to talk about the new scientific breakthroughs. We only do this show twice a month. We got to talk about the new scientific breakthroughs. That's the topic. The subject is space. That's the subject about every week.
Black holes?
What about black holes?
There's some news in the news this week. Black holes, real? You decide.
That sounds like clickbait to me.
Part of it was holograms. Are black holes holograms? Are we a hologram inside of a black hole? Another question. Do you believe black holes perfect, or do they have imperfections like other people, like ourselves? Are they better than us? Are you saying that black holes are better than me?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to address those things in reverse order. To diffuse the situation, no, I'm not saying black holes are better than you.
Then you must maybe agree that holograms are what we are inside of a black hole, according to this news article.
Well, my first question, given that you are the expert, I just produced the show. You're the one with credentials in space. So I hope I don't come across as stupid when I ask this question. What does the Tupac hologram have to do with a black hole? I don't get it. What is the Tupac?
This is a racially charged subject, of course. Black holes, Tupac, and I'm not going to comment on it myself. Having my white skin, my white privilege, I don't want to bring up any racial tensions between you and maybe other guests that I'm not familiar with. But Tupac, a hologram.
You don't always have to bring up the fact that I'm black on every single show. Why do you always make it about the fact that I'm black? It's not necessary.
I agree, it's not necessary. I don't do whatever.
I didn't bring up Tupac because he's black. I brought up Tupac because they made a hologram of Tupac so that he could play at a concert. They did the same thing for the old dirty bastard from
depending on the results of this study. It would say whether or not that's a double hologram inside of a regular hologram.
Yo, your cat Joe Pesci is making some fucking noise. Why do you bring your cat to the studio?
Oh, I love kitty cats.
Joe Pesci, it's a great name for a cat.
He's a great actor.
He's a great actor.
Well, we got similar minds, geniuses, right?
Hey.
Great minds, that's the saying.
If every single person from New York is not a genius, I guess I just don't know the world anymore.
Hey, and if every single person from New York is not a fan of Joe Pesci and believes that he's a great actor, well, they're not a genius either, and
they should fight your cat.
Dilemma.
They should fight your cat if they don't think Joe Pesci is a great actor.
Well, I would say so. My cat actually is Joe Pesci, in case you're not familiar with that. Joe Pesci is one of those Animorphs from the books Animorph, the series Animorphs.
He
turns into a cat.
I loved Animorphs.
Then later, he's a scary mobster in movies sometimes.
I was wondering why he had not been working lately because, everyone's talking about Jurassic World and Mad Max. The only thing I want in the whole world of cinema is the next Joe Pesci
Hey, well,
movie.
I'll tell you something here. You know, Goodfellas?
Yeah.
Have you heard of the new treatment for a new film about Goodfellas called Good Kitties, starring Joe Pesci and other kitties?
I remember
We got Robert the Kitty, another kitty cat, a few other actors as well, but, we can't say much about that. It's only, it's in development.
Meryl Striped Cat. I heard she's
yeah.
working.
Yeah, of course.
So, but back to black holes. You said that
I would say
this implies that we're a hologram in some way. Does this connect to the idea? Is this completely separate from the idea that we could be a simulation? Because that's an idea we talk about a lot on this show.
Oh, no, they're completely the same thing.
They're completely the same thing. We can be a hologram and a computer simulation.
Not only are we a computer simulation, that computer simulation is inside of a hologram, inside of a black hole. And Tupac is inside of that.
Man,
that's why he's such a great artist, really. It's really some original.
So that's his new hood?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing?
He's a deep thinker. Realize. And that is a hologram.
I don't think that's a real Tupac quote.
No.
You saw that on Facebook.
I don't use Facebook. I'm into Tupac. I'm into some real OG.
You shared that with
rap.
me on Facebook last week.
Okay, well, let's keep this out of the show. It's personal matters.
I'm just saying, I don't think realize.
I figured you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I also don't like all the Illuminati stuff you share all day long.
Well, the Illuminati is a serious problem in outer space, and in today's world of holograms and space and international, interstate space stations.
Okay, I have a riddle. I have one of those classic space riddles for you. If you write the number 23 in space, does the NSA see you do it?
Are you like at the space internet, or where are you writing it?
That's it. I didn't think about that when I asked the question. Yeah, if you spray paint the number 23 on the dark side of the moon and watch The Wizard of Oz at the same time.
Well, Pink Floyd's album is synced up to it, of course.
I just said the dark side of the moon. Of course you're listening to the dark side of the moon on the dark side of the moon. What the fuck is your problem? What are you, some kind of asshole?
I figured you might be more into Tupac.
I could be into Tupac and Pink Floyd. And
Maybe. I mean, you're on the dark side of the moon.
Listening to
Tupac.
And
you got Tupac. Dark
Has
side
anyone
of the moon.
ever? It's always sync up an album with a movie. Has anyone tried syncing up the album Tupacalypse with the Dark Side of the Moon to see what happens with that?
I would say most likely not. Maybe you got yourself a good. Maybe you got yourself a record deal here.
All right, fans. We're a very interactive show. We like to send. By next week, I want someone to email this show with a sync up of at least one Tupac song with the corresponding song at the same time frame on the Dark Side of the Moon album. I want that sent in. We'll play it on the show next week, and we'll see if we've gotten anywhere.
That sounds like a deal.
So it's a deal with the fans.
Yeah.
Now, so you're on the Dark Side of the Moon. You're listening. Which album are you listening to?
Dark Side of the Moon.
This was my idea, wasn't it? I don't know why I'm asking you questions.
You're the one who came up with it.
Let's move on. You know what? We've got a lot of listener questions.
You don't want the NSA listening in on this and creating their own sync up Dark Side of the Moon.
You just reminded me what my question was. If you're on the Dark Side of the Moon, listening to the Dark Side of the Moon, and you spray paint the number 23 on the Dark Side of the Moon, does the NSA see you do that?
I would say it's a touchy subject, and we don't want to have the NSA listening in on us right now because obviously they are.
You mean before we've even released it? Because we've
got microphones.
Yeah, but we're also on the radio. The NSA can listen to this legally.
Well, yeah, maybe, but that's why we shouldn't discuss it.
They could just be listening to this on their radios.
It doesn't matter. They're going to listen to it either way.
So I'm going to say that we've got more scientific discoveries to talk about, but let's get to the listener questions. We got more listener questions. They email some to you. Check your emails too. But the next question. We get this question. We get this question literally every week. I'm not kidding. Or every 2 weeks. Every show we do, we get this email, and we actually do respond to it every couple of months. Just new listeners and stuff, and people apparently really want this question answered. What happens when you fart in space? You've answered this before. You want to cover it again?
No, maybe. I mean, we all know your asshole gets ripped out of your body. And on Earth, people work hard for that. But in space, it happens in a moment's notice.
We've so many times we have explained to people, like, come on, people, don't you have better questions? Can't you?
One question for me. How many lamps do you have in your apartment? I would say, truthfully, that I have a lot, more than the average person, because I like to pretend that I've got stars all over my apartment. I mean, I myself am a star, if I might say that I might be a radio star. But aside from that, I like to have like other sorts of stars, like lamps in my apartment. How many lamps do you have in your apartment?
Me? I gotta be honest. I was reading the next email. I didn't hear your final answer. How many lamps do you have in your apartment?
About 23.
Illuminati confirmed.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I've never even noticed before. 23 lamps.
Oh my
What's the chances of that?
Oh my God.
What are the odds?
All right. So, do you have any more listener questions in your email this week?
No, not many this week.
You know what? These questions seem. I get a lot of hate for this myself, but our fans are fucking stupid, man.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
A lot of the questions are more just like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm better than you. You know, those aren't questions.
Well, that's also what you get walking down the street. I mean, I must have. Honestly, going through these, I must have skimmed over 10 or 20 that were just, fuck you, Frank, fuck you, Carl, a couple eat a dicks, a couple you want to fight me, at least 5 you think you're better than me's.
A lot of those.
So, like, our fans...
For the record, yes, I do.
Yeah, you're better than them.
I'm on the radio, you're not.
So, our fans are fucking stupid, man.
You know fuck your mother to all my fans.
We got to try to get on a different network, yo. You know what I mean?
I would say so.
K-Rock, this shit is fucking passe.
Let's go to, I don't know, classic rock and roll. Is there one of those in the area?
WNBC. I think that's where we should go.
We should go there. That's WNBC. A legendary radio station.
Yeah, we got to get the fuck off of K-Rock, yo. So, you want to take a break? After the break, we got an amazing guest coming up. We got a grad student from Australia. Name is Sting. Basically, this guy, he wants to compete with Elon Musk and whoever else is trying to go to space. He wants to go to Mars. So after the break, we have our guest from Australia, Sting. We'll be right back. This is the Big Space Apple with Frank St. Wahlberg. It's 20 minutes past the hour. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Big Space Apple, live from the Empire Space Building. I'm your host, Frank St. Wahlberg, with here, this guy,
here
the producer.
With you, Carlo De Niro.
That's your name.
You high asshole.
You're high.
You went and got high during the break.
High? I'm high.
You think you're better than me because you're high?
I am high, and I'm better than
you. You went and got high during the break, even though I told you earlier in the show to stop getting high. You went and got high again during the break.
Not going to happen. You know what's high also? Outer space. That's the subject of our show today, listeners. We're going to get real deep space. Deep Space Nine, Star Trek today.
From deep space.
Yes,
Classic Fear.
Song. It's a good song.
We'll clip that in
play
here.
That later.
We'll play that later.
You're the producer. You're going to do that.
I will. I will.
You say you're the engineer, now you're the producer. What's the difference?
I get shit done, okay? I'll put the music in the show. I can do that much. The difference is that the producer I get to do what I want because I pay the money for this show to exist. We've been over this before. We don't need to talk about it again. What I do want to bring up to your attention is that during the break, your scamming ass cat, that gangster cat Joe Pesci, was trying to get me involved in a Ponzi scheme.
It's not called a Ponzi scheme. No. You're an idiot.
I know what a Ponzi scheme is, you fucking high moron. No, he was trying to get me involved in a Fonzie scheme.
Is that one where like you jump over a pyramid of sharks?
You know what? That's a good idea too. I'm not gonna discredit you.
I'm gonna write that down because I would like to do some scheming myself. But if that's not what it is, explain.
A Fonzie scheme is where, first of all, he anamorphs back into a human, and then we go around trying to convince teenagers who are too young to have watched Happy Days and who happen to not have the phone on them. We convinced them that Joe Pesci was the guy who played Fonzie.
Okay.
And then we charged them $20 for autograph pictures.
That's a great scheme.
Yeah. It's a good scheme, but I don't want to go around harassing teenagers.
What about maybe slightly older adults, but still who might not have seen Happy Days? Maybe some of them will have, but hopefully a majority of them will not. Or they'll just recognize him as famous actor Joe Pesci, a great actor.
And not want to offend him because they believe that he has become old and senile and believes that he played Fonzie, and maybe they just want to spend $20 to humor Joe Pesci.
He's frankly my name. He's a scary guy.
He was not my name as well.
No, my name is Frank. Yeah. Frankly, it's a pun.
Oh my God, fuck yourself. Go on.
Everything I say is frankly.
Go on. Continue. Something about stabbing. What were you saying?
Yeah, he's a scary guy. He stabs people. You just stab, you know.
You own a cat that stabs people?
Joe Pesci stabs people when he's not a cat.
How often does he
anamorph?
More of a
slashy.
It's like a full moon today. Does that have anything to do with his anamorphity?
No.
No?
No, of course not.
Okay.
What are you, an idiot? He does it whenever he wants.
I love that you think you can call me an idiot.
You're an idiot.
You're the host of this show. You don't know shit about space. You never talk about space.
You never talk about space either. Maybe you could contribute for once.
You know what? Why don't you fuck yourself? We're going to go on to the next segment of the show, and that's Celebrity Chat.
Celebrity. Who we got today?
Celeb Chat.
Who you brought on today?
It's not who we brought on. It's who did you see in the past week. We live in New York City. There's celebrities here all the time. Did you see any celebrities? Did you interact with any celebrities?
Who did I see?
Who did you see?
You wouldn't like to know, would you? You would like to know.
That's the whole segment.
I saw David Schwimmer.
Really? I thought this was going to be another one of those weeks where you just sit here stubbornly and refuse to give me information because you think I'm challenging you or something, but I continue.
What I think is you just want to know about all the celebrities that I have parties with, and you're left out because you're a lowly producer.
It's called Celebrity Chat. Of course I want to know about the celebrities that you saw. Look, you appear to be willing to give me information today. We're not going to get into another argument about why you should. We're not going to do this again.
I saw someone who was absolutely David Schwimmer, and he gave me a parking ticket.
So you were hanging out. What street were you on?
First.
Good street.
Which other one?
New York City.
First Street.
First Street. Okay, so you on First Street. You're parked. I still don't know why you own a car. Maybe I think you just like to show off and say that you own a car. But owning a car in New York City is so stupid. Like, you're stupid.
I need to drive to the airport.
You need to pick all your famous friends up at the airport, like David Schwimmer.
Exactly. No, he's not my friend. He gave me a parking ticket.
Okay, so you're parked on First Avenue. Where are you shopping?
Shopping?
Where are you shopping? Why are you parked?
I'm shopping at the Gap.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the only store that I ever shop at. It's where I buy all my nice sweaters and pants, jeans.
Now, see, I'm more of an Old Navy type of guy, but I respect your choice of the Gap. So you're at the Gap. How long were you in the Gap? Like 3 hours?
What business is it of yours?
This is a talk show, you dumb motherfucker. You can't. We've done whole hours before where you just refuse to give me information, and it's not. I can't believe we haven't been canceled yet.
I was in the Gap for about half an hour, exactly like you said. I think you didn't know already, because who can spend more than half an hour in the Gap anyways?
Well, I spend like 4 hours a day at Old Navy, but I don't know what the Gap's like vibe is. You know, lately I've been really into vibes. I've told you about crystals before.
Crystals are amazing. I'm a fan of crystals. I've got crystals. You got crystals. We've all got crystals. Who doesn't?
And the Illuminati isn't even confirmed yet on crystals. We just...
No, we're not. The jury's out on that.
We're speculating. But crystal... I mean... But yeah, I've been really into vibe. What's the vibe at Old Gap?
The Old Gap, They tore that down, and now they got a new Gap.
The old Gap was on 2nd Street, right? That's so impractical. Why would you be on 2nd Street when you could be on 1st Street? I can't believe I can't believe there's a single thing on 2nd Street, because why would you be on 2nd Street when you could be on 1st Street?
I don't know.
2nd Street should just be...
It's a step up from 3rd Street. Maybe that's the reason.
Shit, it's like when you get off BBC 3 and you on BBC 2.
It's like, where are we going to stop? Like, where do we draw the line? You know?
Well, I mean... What, you think even the people who are on 20th Street aren't at peace with that? They're still scamming up to be on 18th Street and 17th Street?
I think some of them maybe, but they're happy that they're not on 22nd Street, you know?
Yeah, or
like
22 Jump
Street. On the 2nd Street, they're fine with not being on 1st Street until they tear down the store and move to 1st Street.
You know what? I just moved, and I totally get that, because even though I was kind of happy where I was, now I drive by there, and it looks like a dump. I'm just like, I'm so glad.
That maybe David Schwimmer was there, who could have told us to pivot the couch, because we couldn't figure that out.
I know, we were
so
just...
obviously like, pivot! Such an obvious thing. Such an obvious maneuver.
So obviously the Gap doesn't have a good vibe. You don't spend more than half an hour there, but you buy all your good clothes.
No, but I don't pay for parking either. I just park, parking meter... No way.
You think you're so famous in New York that you don't have to pay for parking?
I think it's a scam is the deal.
Well, I've heard that people accumulate thousands of dollars worth of parking tickets before they ever pay them off. So I don't think there's any like central authority that is making you pay parking tickets. I think you can just accumulate them indefinitely until you happen to be charged for a more serious crime. And then they're like, hey, motherfucker, you owe us $10,000 in parking tickets because you're an asshole.
Well, maybe David Schwimmer, instead of issuing parking tickets, could pay for my past parking tickets.
Okay, so you come out of the Gap, you've been parked for half an hour. Or did you go somewhere before the Gap?
No, I went straight to the Gap.
Now, how much parking did you pay for?
Zero.
Oh, right.
As I said, I don't pay for parking.
So, David Schwimmer, is he like preparing for a new role, or you just think that David Schwimmer has fallen on?
I think he's a police officer.
Parking cops aren't real cops. They're not
absolutely real police officers.
No, they're not.
Why don't you ask them that question? They'll tell you they are.
You think I'm going to listen to a parking cop on his opinion on whether or not he's a cop?
You have no respect for authority.
I don't have respect for parking authority. That's fucking for sure.
You
are just saying like 30 seconds ago that you have no respect for parking authority and you think it's a scam. But
it's
you
nothing
also
about parking authority. It's about the whole concept of parking.
So even though you think it's a scam, you believe that you're defying real police officers.
Yes.
You're stupid on so many levels. It's not even.
Tell me what celebrities you met. Huh? None, right? No.
You know what? I saw Jennifer Aniston. She was...
Oh, what a coincidence. You scamming on the friends? You trying to meet all the friends just like me?
Look, you got to catch them all. You got to catch all the friends. You have to catch them all while they're in New York City. And I saw Jennifer Aniston. She was in a coffee shop being real indecisive about what kind of coffee she was going to get.
She may be the waitress in that coffee shop, and then later Joey was also a waitress in the coffee shop? Yeah. I see what you're getting at.
Look, I've met Gunther like 20 times. I don't even count that shit, you know?
Yeah, he is just a regular barista. He's not an actor, right?
I think he like moonlights at all the different coffee shops in New York City.
I could see why they would want to go with that route.
So why do you think David Schwimmer is a parking cop now? He just is a cop? He's always been a cop?
He gave me a ticket, didn't he? What business would he have otherwise?
So... And how did that end? What did you say to David? Did you recognize him immediately as David Schwimmer?
I said, maybe you should give a parking ticket to a dinosaur, you stupid paleontologist. Because he's only ever played Ross on Friends as far as I know, and that was the occupation of the role he played.
He was the giraffe in fucking Madagascar.
Oh, yeah, with Ben Stiller and Chris Rock.
And Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay, I was going to say Queen Latifah, but it was Jada Pinkett Smith who played the hippopotamus.
Oh, my God.
Not racist. No.
Racist.
You're racist. Against white people.
You think I'm racist against white people because I disapprove of the dumb shit that you say? Try again, motherfucker. The reason I say Will Smith's wife is because prior to Madagascar, I had never heard of this woman.
Because apparently, you view women primarily as the possessions of the husbands is why, you misogynist.
Fuck you. You think you're better than me?
Absolutely.
Oh, shit, you're right. Fuck. Okay, I'm being told that we have a call coming in, and that's kind of convenient because our guest is about to show up and shit. So we got a call coming in. We'll take the call, get that on the line, and then we'll have our guest.
All right, who we got?
I don't know. It's an international call though.
International.
I'm gonna patch that in. Boop. Hey Frank, it's Sting. You guessed.
Yeah. Where are you, Sting?
Look, I know I'm supposed to already be in the studio, but I'm going to be honest, I'm still here in jolly old Australia.
Okay, what are you doing? You're not going to make it here? How long of a flight is that? 30 minutes? The show is supposed to be wrapping up soon.
It's a 1 hour show, right? Yeah, it's about
the show. What is this? What are you grilling me for?
Well, it's a 7-hour flight, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not planning on catching it. Elon Musk, he called me and he challenged me to a fist fight, and gonna be honest here, the whole mission to Mars thing was kind of just a substitute for my rage against Elon Musk. And now that I'm gonna get to punch him in the face, this whole going to Mars and launching a man on Mars, and he's probably gonna die up there because I didn't have enough money to send him food, and it's probably not a good idea. So I'm not going to Mars. I'm not going to be on your show.
I suppose that's understandable. I heard that Ice Cube is on Mars right now, and he's a dangerous man.
Well,
you wouldn't want to go there, really. I thought it was a bad idea in the first place.
Is he there yet?
I'm a space enthusiast. He's been there since early 2000s.
Did anyone ask him, was he there yet?
They actually had to build a soundstage on Mars to film Are We There Yet? And the sequel, Are We Done Yet? But he's still up there.
So he's done getting to Mars.
I congratulate you on airing your grievances with Elon Musk and really acknowledging your feelings.
I'm going to punch him right in the face. And gonna be honest, I have no reason to go to Mars now, so I'm not going to be on your show. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Well.
What are we going to do for the rest of the show? You want to say fuck it and just end it?
Yeah.
Fuck, this is bullshit.
God.
How many guests have canceled on us in the last month?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
Maybe if you stop getting...
I don't know anything. I'm stupid. That's all you ever tell me.
Oh, now you're going to get sad. You're going to cry once the show is over.
I'm not going to cry. You're going to cry. You think I'm going to cry?
All right. This is the Big Space Apple. I'm Carlo De Niro.
I am Frank St. Wahlberg. Let me say my own name.
I'm going to spend the next hour apologizing. All right. Next up is New York food.
Ain't outer space, right? No.
No.
Goodbye.
The seed is planted from deep space. From deep space. Classic fear from deep space. From deep space. The seed is planted from deep space.
This episode of Podcool featured Colin Robson as Frank St. Wahlberg and myself, Richard White, as Carl O. De Niro. You can follow Colin on Twitter at Daniel Frampton. I am at White the Richard. And you can subscribe to our podcast channel. That's Podcool, a comedy podcast on YouTube.